Viewers, welcome back to the Personal Injury Law Show. It's that time of the show we've got the mailbag. Good evening, Anna. How are you?
Good evening, Tony. Very well, thank you. Thank you for having me. Good to see you again, viewers.
What do you think of the show?
Very interesting. I have a question though. How long does a child have to bring a claim if they're involved in a road accident?
You usually got 18 years plus 3.
6, Tony. In Victoria?
Oh, plus 6.
Yeah, because transport accident. Transport accident, of course, we're not talking about public liability, just transport accident, 6 years from when they're 18. 6 years from when they're 18. Claim can be brought on their behalf before then, of course. It's 6 years from the date of the accident, so brought by the parents. But the child has until they're 24.
And Don, you generally wait until you know how they're going with schooling.
Yeah, yeah.
If you feel comfortable with doing the claim now or down the track. So that's why the law generally lets children wait in case they want to be lawyers or doctors, and because of their injuries they can't do that.
And that's why those cases we dealt with, the accidents happened many, many years ago, because it's very difficult to assess the damage or damages of an infant child when
That's
they're only
exactly
2.
right.
Not
I
even...
suppose you want to see how the injuries stabilise as well.
Yeah,
and
that's
how
right.
they evolve.
That's right. And how to go through school and work capacity and all that. So it's very difficult to assess a child's damages until they're later on in the years. So that's, I guess, why, Tony.
And Don, I guess they've got to have a claim in the first place.
Well, of
They've
course.
got to make sure they lodge a claim.
Yeah, that's right. Well, of course, in Victoria, in terms of lodging claims, if an infant child has been injured in a transport accident, you can lodge a claim on their behalf up to 3 years. So you've got 12 months, then a further 2 years to do so, Tony, with the TSC's discretion.
But it's preferable they do it within the first 12 months.
That's right, but if they don't lodge a claim, if a parent doesn't lodge a claim, the child has a right to claim in their own right from when they're 18, 3
Okay.
years, so until they're 21.
Okay.
Good.
Let's get on with these questions,
Okay,
Anna.
thank you for your questions, viewers. We've got one first up from Greg in Geelong. Dear PI Show, I was at the service station 2 weeks ago checking my tyre pressure. A motorbike rider pulled up next to me to do the same. The next thing I knew, I heard the rider yell out something, and then the motorbike fell onto the back of my leg and I sustained an injury to my ankle. Do I have a claim against the motorbike rider, even though he wasn't actually driving?
Well, I think there's going to be a very contentious issue as to whether or not he was driving. If it was an incident directly caused by the driving, a lot of case law on what driving includes, then it will be a transport accident claim, so you lodge a claim with the TAC. And I think on those facts, Tony, it's very difficult to say if it was driving.
No.
But why can't they sue under the use provisions?
Well, if it wasn't driving, then it can, I assume, was arising out of the use of a motor vehicle, which means you have an unfettered claim against the
I reckon
motorcycle
that's a better
rider.
case.
Oh, I would think so too, because there's no serious injury test that applies to a transport accident. But on those facts, Tony, it's very difficult to say if it was driving or it was rising out of the use of, because there's just not enough information.
Will it
I
matter?
think that if your motorbike falls over because you haven't properly stood it up,
Yep.
why isn't the use of a motorbike?
Is that still an act of the driving, Tony?
Will
I
it matter
reckon
whether
it
the
is.
motor's going or not?
Oh, it matters on the...
driving as opposed to use?
That's right. And look, stopping the vehicle is part of the driving.
I'd do this case if it came to me.
Oh, well, definitely. Definitely. But I think we just need more facts, because it is a very fine line as to whether or not it is a transport accident according to the Transport Accident Act, or whether it's something arising out of the use of. And it depends on what the motorcycle rider had done. Had he finished driving, so as part of the motorcycle or something got caught and fell over, I mean, we're not sure on those facts, but
Don?
definitely get
Okay.
some legal advice.
Give me a
Yeah.
ring.
Greg, sounds like you should contact a lawyer to get some advice on that one. The next question is from Jen in Doncaster. Hi, PO Show. I witnessed a car accident in January. I was one of the first people to the scene and had to help a man out of a mangled car. He was really badly injured and it was a very traumatic experience. Now I am starting to suffer paranoia about driving. I am feeling increasingly anxious and depressed, and I am experiencing frequent nightmares. I think the accident has really affected me. I know I wasn't in the actual accident, but is there some form of assistance offered for someone like me? Don, it sounds like she's really
Anna,
struggling with this.
She should lodge a claim with the Transport Accident Commission for a medical treatment, and at law, because of the evolution of the nervous shock cases, and at St Thames, where the High Court said that you don't, oh, well, in that case, the High Court said you don't have to be there, but this fellow's actually at the scene.
Well, it's a classic
So it makes
Nova
it-
shock case. He's
Oh, yeah,
witnessed the accident, and that is part of the accident, witnessing an accident's happened, and he's sustained an injury.
Well,
which
lodge
is
a
mental
claim,
injury.
get your medical treatment paid, any loss of income, and if down the track you've got a serious injury under the transport accident provisions,
That's correct.
you can sue the negligent driver.
That's correct. So
Because
this
there's
is,
bound to be someone at fault.
so if sustained severe psychological reaction to this accident, he has a claim against the driver.
And isn't the test severe behavioural disturbance,
Severe behavioural disturbance, that's right.
which
So-
is permanent?
It's got to be permanent in the
Okay.
future, long term, and it's got to have those severe consequences to the enjoyment of life and or their earning capacity.
But Don, the word permanent doesn't mean, it means foreseeable future.
Of course, we can't. Unfortunately, we don't
Because
have
we
that
don't have a
crystal
crystal
ball.
ball.
That's right. But you're looking at these type of cases to be severe. What the courts generally look at is definitely look at treatment, medication, time off work, and that has to be, at least in the foreseeable future, has to be permanent.
Okay.
And generally, these are the sorts of matters you've got to wait to see what happens.
Look, definitely, because you've got to let the injury take its course. And what I've seen in my years of experience is that it's not something they can tell in a couple of months. It's got to be a year or two or down the track to see
That's
if it is
correct.
permanent.
If this happened in January, we're a few months in, but if Jen needs ongoing treatment, then
Yeah, well, that's right. And I always use the comparison with a broken bone. Well, a broken bone heals, but psychological trauma, well, when's the end point? So the
That's
test
right.
is not stable, has to be substantially stable, so close to.
See a lawyer.
Definitely.
The next question is from Abby in Laverton. Dear PI Show, last month I was walking with my kids along a road that had a speed limit of around 70 kilometres per hour. A car with a trailer drove past us and some debris from the load came out and hit my 12-year-old son in the head. I was so caught up in the panic of the moment that I didn't get the licence plate of the car. My son had to go to hospital and had to get stitches and now has a subsequent large scar along his hairline. Is there anything we can do? Tony or John?
Or Don.
Well, the answer is, of course, can do something. It's definitely falls in the definition of a transport accident, an incident directly caused by the driving of a motor vehicle. So you have a claim for your son pursuant to the Transport Accident Act to lodge a claim with the TAC.
You'll
So-
get your medical treatment paid. Down the track, if the scar's significant and causes him problems, you'll have a severe scarring under the definition of serious injury,
That's right.
and you can sue the unidentified driver.
Well, the important thing about this is obviously get legal advice because you must notify the TAC as reasonably practical that it is an
So
unidentified
they
vehicle.
can make their own inquiries.
Well, that's right. The law does say you must notify the TAC, and that's usually done by a statement which can be provided by
That's
your
right.
lawyer.
That's right.
So Abby could lodge a claim now for her
Yes.
son?
Yes, definitely.
lodge
And,
a
it, and if for whatever reason she doesn't lodge a claim within those 3 years of the accident, her son can lodge it within 3 years from the time they turn 18.
Okay.
Anna, tell the viewers how to get in touch with us.
Yes, viewers, please keep sending in your questions. We love receiving them. You can contact us on Facebook, on Twitter, or on our website, which is www.thepishow.com. And at that website, you can also catch up on our previous episodes.
And viewers, remember, be careful at work, be careful on the road, and just be careful in general. And thanks for watching. Thanks, Don. Thanks, Anna. And stay safe.
Thanks, guys.